John, I could not resist the International Space Station passing during daytime, so we captured it. There is another pass at 6:35 that I will try to get, but I am on dog duty right now, so I'm going to see where it is. It's not a pretty pass. Actually, it's a pretty good pass. The plan for tonight is to get on 3 supernova, SN 2025, all of them discovered this year. One in NGC 83, one in NGC 7606, and one in NGC 7331. All of them are tiny, so we're going to try to get them with a big scope. And then a couple of asteroids. We'll do Ceres and Victoria. A couple of planets. We'll do Saturn and Neptune. And then we go sleep. Then we have the moon till 8 before it crosses meridian. And right now the ISS crosses the meridian at 6:34. So I'm using SkyTrack. Where is the ISS? There it is, Zarya. So it shows the mount here right on the moon. And ISS is still out of the picture. It's going to climb its way. That is the line. We will hop on it just inside the meridian momentarily. And we will launch the satellite tracking after it crosses the meridian, because I don't want the meridian flip. Let's see how fast it's going to come down, because it's going to be very high altitude, 70 degrees. It will not cross 60 until 34 and change, and then it'll go down very rapidly. So 34:30 is when we'll probably start chasing it. And then we have 2 minutes. Yeah. Let us set the capture here for 2 minutes. Well, we'll remember to set it for 2 minutes. Earlier this afternoon, the International Space Station went straight through C5, Caldwell 5. Hello, Tonerlo. Yeah. We are marking time with the big scope. There is an International Space Station pass at in about 25 minutes. Depending where it is. V7994 does not ring a bell. Let's see where we have it. V7994. Okay, Stellarium doesn't know it. Let's see if anybody has heard of it. I need coordinates. I'm looking at data on it. Surprisingly, the University of Rochester's database of latest supernova, they don't seem to have it in that database. Hi Zena. John, if you have coordinates for it, I'll appreciate them, because I have found it, but no, there doesn't seem to be coordinates anywhere. Or it might be easier just to see if Sagittarius is there. No, not all night, Zena. I'm gonna sleep, go to sleep on Tuesday because I have to go to work on Wednesday. I am at AFSO. Zena till 11:59:58 my time. All right, I found it. 1803:53. I'm trying to enter the coordinates in Stellarium and see what they give me. $31, $27. $26. It'll be past the meridian. Sorry. It is already past the meridian. So no joy for tonight. I got the coordinates, John. Thank you. I will be back. Okay, the blue dot here is the ISS. The red circle is the telescope. The mount is connected. We will hit start satellite tracking as soon as the satellite crosses the meridian. Here it says meridian in 187 seconds, 3 minutes. So at 6:34:30 we'll start recording. Hello Iceland. We're trying to capture the International Space Station in daylight one more time. We did that already earlier this afternoon. But the main addition to the model is the use of SkyTrack, which allows it to jump back and forth .2 minutes to meridian. There's the International Space Station. There is our telescope. There is north meridian. I'm not gonna try to chase it. If I had an Alt-as mount, I would catch it here and travel with it the entire way, but I do not. And the CPWI driving a CGX mount, while it gives a good point solution, it does not allow for continuous tracking. So we're going to be jumping back and forth. And every time we coincide with the satellite, the red circle will turn green. So it is pre-parked here, waiting for it. As soon as it crosses to somewhere around here, we'll go chase it. And we have to do two things in a row. The first one is starting the capture, and then the second one, starting the tracking. 1 minute. Unfortunately, if I try to stop the tracking once we start it, program crashes. So we let it stop on its own when the satellite goes below the horizon. 20 seconds. Yep, got it. Let's see how many times we get it. Two. Three. 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'd like to be able to just track it and have it in the middle of the screen and have it stay there all night. Not on this mount. I'm trying the Ioptron mount, but that's another story. The scope is too heavy for it. I stopped counting, so we are what, 12, 13? Still catching it. Whoop, still catching it. Yep, we're done. It's gonna buffer now, but we'll still have it. Yeah, there it is. Not a bad show at all. If you notice the writing buffered frames, I captured everything into high-speed RAM to allow me a high rate. And now we're moving them from RAM to the solid-state hard drive. And the scope is still getting them. The scope is way down into the trees now and still getting the ISS. The red stop capture will turn green soon, and then we'll be done with this pass. That's the last pass of the night for the ISS. In the meantime, the moon is as beautiful as can be. We will lose the moon in about an hour, but we're going to stay with it for now. International Space Station down to 1 degree. It's gonna go below the horizon in 4, 3, 2, we're done. Okay, SkyTrack, thank you. I'm not gonna touch anything because we're still moving from the buffer to the hard drive. So we'll be back in a few minutes to get after our supernova. We will look at 7331 first, and then 7606, and then NGC 83. How big is NGC 83? It's 1 minute by 1 minute. It's tiny. That's why we're using the big scope. Really tiny. As to where the supernova is, je ne sais pas. We'll see. Hello everybody, we had a successful capture of the International Space Station 3 times today. We have Saturn here, Xena at Saturn, but it is still very low, barely 5 degrees. The moon is beautiful as always. Gonna give it another focus nudge. Wow. A real wow. So the plan for tonight, 3 supernova. We already checked off the moon, checked off the ISS. And then we have 2 near-Earth asteroids, Ceres and Victoria. And we have 1 comet. Most of the work will be done by the big scope. The little scope is going to lose the moon momentarily. And then the moon is heading out. As soon as it crosses the meridian, I no longer have visibility. We'll decide later what to do with Seestar since it's up and running. We'll give it work to do. In the meantime, I want to see what the videos look like quickly. This was earlier. Wow, these are biggies. Forgot that, bummer. Let's make sure we have space, otherwise I'm going to have to move them out of the way. Yeah, we used up the entire drive for all intents and purposes. This latest capture was 37 gigabytes. And this one, 21 gigabytes. And this one, 21 gigabytes. So, we'll remove these out of the way. And then be able to get work done. Jeff, I received an email Saturday morning from the Society of Amateur Radio Astronomers extending their regrets that they did not include the low noise amplifier because it's out of stock. I have an LNA coming my way this coming week. So we did not do anything wrong, we just did not have the right equipment. We did barely see the Milky Way, but now when the new equipment comes, I do need petaflop drives. The setup that I have here, I'm relying on the 32 gigabytes of RAM, high-speed RAM, inside the box, and that's where I capture the ISS. Remember, we're capturing 8 megapixels times 3 bytes per pixel at about 60, 70, 80, sometimes 100 frames per second. And then when we are done with the capture, it moves from RAM, high-speed RAM, to the solid-state drive that came with the processor. And then I move them off that onto a terabyte drive that is sitting inside the same box. And then there is a USB connected 6 terabytes. The Spider right now is just a little bit outside my price range. We'll see what we can do with this one for now. The next challenge for me is to mount the antenna on a telescope mount and be able to scan the Milky Way back and forth and find a way to interpret both frequency and magnitude and display them as such. Hello, Bill. Jeff, I followed the instructions step by step and did not have problems with it. It went straight forward to get the RTL, the Air Spy software, whatever it is, the Sharp, SDR Sharp. Okay, we're good here. We're going to delete. Bill, we succeeded in getting the International Space Station in broad daylight again with the sky track, so we hit it several times. The plan for tonight is going to be 3 supernova. That's going to be the priority. And then we'll decide what to do with the moon. We had looked at both 7331, NGC 7331, and NGC 7606 on Seestar. Both are tiny. NGC 83 is even smaller. It's only 1 arc minute by 1 arc minute. So we'll see what the big scope can do. So if you yeah, I'm gonna have to debayer it to be able to see anything. The debayering is gonna take a while, so we're gonna skip it for now. Congratulations, Bill, on your new diploma, your emoji certificate. Trying to decide the order in which we're going to tackle those targets, because none of them is going to be easy. I don't know if you guys saw the morning comet that I got a couple of mornings ago. It's going to get brighter. It's about magnitude 6 now, 6.5. Could not see it with the naked eye, but it won't be long before we do. Let's see if we can load up Stellarium and update the Comet database and see if Stellarium will drive the 11-inch scope. Alright, first of all, can we connect to the Edge HD? It says connected. Yep, it is on Saturn. That's a good sign. Next question is configuration. Plugins. Solar system. Configure. Solar system. Import orbital elements of comets. All of them. Add new, update file, mark all, add objects. Okay, let's see if we're going to find it now. Search. We're looking for Comet 2022. E2 Atlas. I don't see it. That's not nice. Okay, there it is. We have it centered. Okay, there it is up there. We're going to send the telescope, the big scope, to it and see if we can see it. It's near C22. We'll come back and visit C22. And there comes the telescope. No, Zina, I said until before midnight. Okay, let's see if we have a comet. We have something. Still a bit bright to do any plate solving. See if that will solve for us. Don't think so. No. Okay, we're gonna wait till it gets a bit darker. Hello, Mike. Hi, Jeannie. We're trying to get a comet, but we're unable to plate solve yet because it's still bright outside. I wish I knew what that bright star is. We're trying to do optical plate solving here. Big bright 1 and 3 above it. It's not ringing a bell. Okay, we solved. It says we are not too far. Will it stack? At this point, it is worth trying to see if PhD wants to work today. It has been very erratic. I'm going to stop the guiding here to avoid a conflict. Big question is whether those two lines, especially the RA, the bluish line, if they converge towards zero or if they diverge. And I have not been able to debug it as to why. Sometimes they diverge completely, other times they converge beautifully. Same hardware, same software, same setup. Sometimes they give me sub-arc second. Right now it's at the half arc second, which is excellent. If they stay like this, we are in business, because that would allow me then to increase the exposure time without relying on sharp cap to do the realignment. Let's assume this is working. When it stops working, it'll let me know. The big question now is this the comet? Bill, my efforts to dust the screen don't seem to have worked. I tried. Hello, Slap. We are doing well and having fun. I present to you my recently cleaned telescope. We think this is a comet. We're going to keep stacking for a little bit to see if we can get it to look prettier. In the meantime, PhD is behaving. We are half an arc second in RMS error, total error. Sorry, half a pixel, which is even better. It's not allowing me to choose arc seconds, which is fine. Hello, Toast. Yeah, we caught the moon just a little bit after it rose this afternoon, and we've been with it. It's making its way towards the meridian, and that's when I lose it. I lose the moon, I mean. UPS used to make commercials about how they clean their aircraft all the time because they save on gas or on fuel, and then the commercial said, and we like our planes clean anyway. Jeff, I do not. I use Stellarium exclusively. We're going to need to zoom in extensively to see which is our comet. Hello, Jacob. I did not know that, Tonerlo. Okay, we have reason to believe that it is indeed at the very middle. Yep, pretty much there. So we think it is this little dot. And we can verify that with a look at Stellarium. Going to Stellarium, there is the comet. There is this double star, if you will, and then this bright star, and it is about halfway between these two. There is the double star and the other star, with the bright one being down there, and it says it's halfway between these two, so that puts it here. Thank you, Slap. Greatly appreciated. Looks like we're not going to be getting much out of this comet. It says magnitude 15 minus, yeah, magnitude 15. All right, supernova, 3 in a row. We have to tackle 7331 first before it goes away on us. We have to remember to... Ooh, I like this. We are sub half pixel. Okay, stop. Let's hope it works all night. I'm going to stop here. And we're going to go to NGC 7331 is the first one. And then we need to pull up a picture that shows us where the supernova is. Yeah, 2025 R2 is to the west. Cannot see it. Okay, we have a good picture here. Good, we solved. Something flew in front of the moon. Did anybody see it? Jeff, mine has the go-to option. It's the latest. There it is. I mix and match, doing go-tos through Stellarium versus SharpCap because Stellarium allows me to zoom in. So now I have to find a picture of that supernova so we can pull it up. So it is SN 2025 RBS. They say it is very close to the center of the galaxy. I want a good picture. It's 40 million light years away. According to various reports, this is the supernova, right above the arrow. We'll stack a lot more to see it better. Okay, much better. You can see it. I can see it. It's right here. Yeah, Toast, we discovered the morning after our first foray into radio astronomy, discovered that we were indeed missing the low noise amplifier. So we were about 30 dBs out of luck. That thing is coming. It's shipping from Canada with their postal strike. So don't know when we will get it. From Canada to here, no, it's closer than that. Not 33 million light years. Thank you, Zena. Bill, you might appreciate that the big hang-up with Oswego getting a radio telescope is that their facilities person is insisting that the concrete pad on which the telescope will be mounted, the concrete pad must be ADA compliant according to the laws of New York State. Now, there's nothing that says that anybody's going to come near the telescope to look into it because there's nothing to look into. It's just a dish, an antenna. Yet, to make the concrete platform ADA compliant was going to cost several zeros, a lot of money. And so they are stuck now because they cannot get a radio telescope until facilities allows them to pour a concrete pad to mount the scope on it that does not have railings and wheelchair accessibility. I don't know if it's required to be heated in winter also. So when I sent them a picture of my radio telescope up and running, I got an email back saying, "Did facilities approve that setup?" And I replied, "Facilities," and then between brackets, "my wife approved this installation on condition that the dogs stay out of it." Yeah. And this is where the insanity carries on. They decided instead to put it on the roof of Shineman Hall, in between the two cell towers that are on the roof that provide cell coverage for the campus, not to mention all the Wi-Fi, and not to mention all the cars around, or the radio tower and the TV tower. As some of you may recall, this saga of the radio telescope has been going on for 2 years. Zena and I will be celebrating tomorrow morning that we don't have to go in just to sign a paper saying that we understand that we are being furloughed until there is a CRA. NGC 7606 does not rise till 8:30. So after we're satisfied that everybody has seen the supernova in NGC 7331, we're going to move to NGC 83, which is a tiny galaxy with the supernova WWK in it. Toast, Gina and I voted not to care. We both used to be federal employees. Yeah, slap, that used to be the case. We had to go in so we can sign a paper that says we went in, so we have to go home. Ah. Well, I did not have that luxury, slap. One morning, I woke up and I told my wife that, you know, it's time to retire when you have had enough, you have enough to do, and you have enough. I said, this is the morning. Went in and told my boss, I'm done, goodbye. Yeah, I had not planned it. It just happened. I have a senior mentor, an old Air Force colonel who put in 30 years in uniform and then an additional 30 years as a civilian. And that night I called him. He picked up the phone and he said, I was expecting your call. I said, why? He said, tell me why you're calling. And I asked him, when did you know it was time to retire? And he said, yep, I was expecting your call. Your time was long ago. What took you so long? Yes, I have been relying on the University of Rochester's SN Supernova alert system. Let me get you a link. Yeah, I am LEO too, but every time we had a mishap like that, they ordered us to leave our laptops, our cell phones, pretty much everything back in the office, so they make sure we don't do any work at home, because it would be illegal to work without being paid. Well, there was a joke in the Pentagon whenever there is a bad snowstorm in the DC area, they used to issue a bulletin saying, only essential employees report to work. And these were the mornings where the parking lot did not have a single empty slot because everybody considered themselves essential employees and showed up to work. So we have our supernova. Everybody satisfied that we can move on? All right, we said NGC 83 is next. So there is a supernova. For some reason, SharpCap is displaying it elongated. It may well be because of the screen being stretched that away. Okay, stop the live stack, please. Go to PhD. Wow. Guys, this is a beauty. We are under half a pixel of error, RMS. I'm going to stop this. And we're going to ask Stellarium to take us. Actually, we'll illustrate that we can do it through SharpCap. Go to full catalog. NGC 83. I did not find it. See? And that's when we go to somebody else. Coordinates 84 degrees azimuth, 28 degrees altitude. Good place to be. So we're gonna retire Seestar very soon. It's losing the moon. Oh, what do we have here? The galaxy appears to be right there. Don't know if it's going to play it solve and move it an inch to the left. Yep, 10 is good. Bingo. Yeah, we have a perfect hit on it. It's not going to move much farther. Those three stars are going to reform here. Yep, and there is our galaxy. Already. Back to auto guide. Get us a new picture. There we go. Pick one. I don't like that. I'm gonna go big. There is a satellite going through. And let's track. We're tracking. Let's go back to sharp cap. And let's start capturing. I increased the exposure to 8 seconds. It's not liking it. The neighboring stars are bigger than the galaxy, so we'll see what we can see. All right, I'm going to try to find the picture. Hello, Otto. Menu options, Bill, of what program? In Stellarium, it is one of the options that keep the menu visible all the time. I don't like it hiding and coming back. It's one of the configuration windows. Yeah, I saw that, Bill. Thank you. Okay, Jeff, let me show you how. Stand by. Those two little things at the bottom is what you need to do. If I click it, menu disappears. If I click the other one, menu disappears. So now if I hover to the side, menu reappears. I click this tiny little thing and the menu stays on. I go back and click the other tiny little thing, the angle brackets, if you want to call them that. At the tip of the angle bracket is what you click to keep it on. We're back to our NGC 83 to find out where the supernova is. Okay. They claim that the supernova is somewhere around here. We're gonna stack away until we see it. Slab, I have not visually observed it. Is it already October where you live, Tarek? I'm going to take some liberty here. There is an incredibly beautiful galaxy not too far from where we are that's probably going to prove more interesting than the supernova that we are trying to chase. So I'm going to hop down to NGC 90. There it is. We're going to let it form. Hopefully we'll hit two birds. You're right, Tarek. October is when your temperature and our temperature become the same. You will have 40 degrees and we will have 40 degrees. Jeff, I'm trying to learn about a very wide field target, namely the Milky Way, with my radio astronomy. Today I was learning about the arms of the Milky Way, and that was fun. The Scotum Centaurus arm and the Perseus arm, and then the minor arms of Orion, Sagittarius, which is in the center, and then Norma, and then Cygnus, and trying to see how we can image each arm separately. We have work for Seestar. Blah blah. We're trying to have Seestar take a look at NGC 90, which is in this corner here on the big scope. It appears to be a very, very beautiful galaxy. Wow, they are tiny. Yeah, unfortunately, it's small, too small. Not even an arc minute. We may just move the big scope on it. By the way, for those who wonder what the term Edge HD refers to, these are stars at the very edge of the field and they are still round. It's a flat field of view, no aberrations around the edges of the screen. So this is the galaxy that we're trying to catch here. Here. Slab it is indeed. But it's a beautiful target. I had never imaged it before. That seems to be a fun part of the sky. Is that Milky Way territory? No, it's not in the Milky Way. Just a bit of trivia. All the stars that you see with your naked eye belong to the Milky Way. And Andromeda and Triangulum are the farthest galaxies that we can see with the naked eye. Triangulum farther than... you want me to zoom in what, Tariq? 83 or 90? NGC. This is NGC 83 and this is NGC 90. Which one do you want me to zoom in on? Aha. Okay, let's see if we can zoom in onto NGC 90. There it is. See if we can make it prettier. Speaking of battlefields, one other marathon that I ran on national parks started in Harper's Ferry through Antietam and finished, it followed the Potomac pretty much, and then finished in Shepherdstown. So we hit 4 battlefields in one marathon, and still remember going, yeah, it followed the C&O Canal, going all the way up to Antietam and then down. Yeah, I did Gettysburg, I did Chickamauga down in Georgia, did Harper's Ferry. These were 3 battlefield marathons. Well, the Marine Corps Marathon is technically goes through lots of national parks. Goes near Congress, that's a battlefield, near the Capitol. That NGC 83 and NGC 90 are good targets for Stellina. More glass and slightly narrower field of view than Seestar. SLAP, I ran the Marine Corps the same year as Vice President Gore ran it. It was interesting having the Secret Service run with him the entire way. Initially, the Secret Service folks were planning on having shifts, a whole bunch of people running 5 or 6 miles each and then taking turns. And then they were shamed into a 50-plus-year-old guy running the whole way, and the young'uns from the Secret Service not being able to keep up. So they ended up having half a dozen Secret Service folks run with him the entire way. His daughters were running with him as well. And they secured several porta-potties along the route just for the Vice President. And my wife, who was running the Marine Corps Marathon with me, was just ahead of Vice President Gore. And she stopped at the porta-potty to use it, and there were armed guards preventing her from getting into the porta-potty. She said, those Marines take their porta-potties seriously. And then after the race, we learned that the Vice President was running it. And that's why they had secured certain porta-potties for its exclusive use. While running the Marine Corps Marathon, yeah, he had time to think and invent the internet. Yeah, we did not know he was there until after we were done. It was a cold and rainy day. Temperature was in the 30s, rained non-stop. Back then they used chips that you tied with your shoelaces to go over the mat to record your time. And when we got to the finish, there were Marines removing the chips from the shoelaces so they can put them in a bucket and reuse them. And I will never forget the warm hands of the young Marine, a young woman, who held my ankles to remove the chip. That felt like heaven because I was freezing and suddenly something warm was on my feet, on my legs. Here we are, 30 years later, I still remember that moment. It felt good. And then we had to walk all the way back to the hotel. That did not feel good. Yeah, it's not going to look as pretty as the way Stellarium shows it. Porta Potty 2. Slab, I'm going to tell you a true story here. When we got to the Pentagon, they had us go around the parking lot a full loop, which had not been on the course originally. And we did not understand why. What had happened was the leaders had been led by the lead vehicle into a wrong turn. And the race director realized that that would have cut the course. And the last thing he wanted was for 20-some thousand people to finish the marathon and be told afterwards it doesn't count because it was short. So he had a Marine take him home. He got his bicycle, came back, measured the distance that the leaders had cut the course, rushed to the Pentagon, measured that same distance, had the Marines move the cones, and they added a loop in the parking lot of the Pentagon that we all did, and then we finished the full distance. And the way I found that out, I used to subscribe to national measuring news that race directors had for course measurement, and that whole story was reported in it as the lead vehicle accidentally cut the course, and the race director went home, brought his bicycle, came back, remeasured, and added the missing distance in the Pentagon's parking lot. We were going in a serpentine fashion instead of going straight through, and then we ended up doing the full race, the full marathon. Not only great solution, but the guy was thinking on his feet. Okay, we're going to go back and look at 83, see if we have a a supernova. There it is. Or is it just a bad pixel? It is supposed to be around here, but don't know if this is just a bad pixel or what. Okay. (7606) should be up by now. Let's go see if we can find it. Okay, order of events. Stop the stack. Stop the auto guide. Find the target. We looked at 706 earlier in the week and discovered that we had the wrong tool. Okay, it is high enough next to Saturn. Let's go for it. Look how exciting it is for the big scope to be moving down. Okay. Do we have it? Yep, there it is. But can we plate solve with it? Not enough stars in the neighborhood. That's not going to plate solve. We're going to have to move up to it. Yep, it's not plate solving. Let me verify, make sure we have it in the right place. One, two, three. All right, we're going to try to I'm going to try to go to 15 seconds, see if we can get more stars, see if we can plate solve. Otherwise, we're just going to stack it and see what we see. Hello, Sam Adventure. Nah, it's not going to solve with 7. All right, let's go for it. NGC 7606, live stack. Start a new stack. I already see the supernova. Can you see what I see? There is a supernova between the star and the center. Yeah, this one is going to be a beauty because we could not see it with Seestar. That is something else that Sharp Cap will do. It'll allow us to take darks and then corrects for them. You're talking about my scope? I will try to show you what scope it is. This is a Celestron Edge HD 11-inch on a CGX mount. With the Belgian Malinois guarding it. All right, there is the rig. There's the big telescope, 11-inch. It has a dew heater to keep moisture from forming. That is the guide scope with its own camera. This is the focuser. Down here in the optical train, we also have a atmospheric dispersion correction. That is the mount. and right now, and that's the dome. And we are bombarding it with infrared. So I'm going to turn off the infrared before it ruins the picture. Slab, it has been years in the making. Lots of trial and error until we settled on this configuration for now. I also have a solar filter for it. I can look at individual sunspots in the sun, zoom in on them, and they look like bad skin spots sometimes. Yeah, it is looking nice. I have to adjust the contrast just a touch. That stuff at the edge. But it's coming along nicely. I have not tried the gravitational arc in a Bell 370. I'm going to take a note. Polar Road, the one on the right with the bluish background is NGC 7606, and the supernova is the dot right above the core. This is the supernova. I would hate to put an arrow on it because it will ruin the beauty of the galaxy. Good night, Slap. Hello, so big. It is evident that the mount is not tracking properly. The black band on top is expanding. The auto-guider is definitely doing its job. Yes, it's a beauty. Half a pixel error. But that black thing growing here and here shows a disconnect between the movement of the stars and the movement of the telescope. Keep an eye on that bright star on top and see if it's going to eat it away as frames get smaller and smaller on us. Jeff, I do, but I do not use them. I tried using the Bortle and could never achieve the same optical quality in my optical train. Jeff, it probably is a polar alignment error. I walked into the tripod the other day, but this afternoon's successful capture of the International Space Station, we hit it 13 times in a row, suggests that in some parts of the sky it's tracking right. I leveraged the help of Starry Night to get me a map of all the stars that are more than 1 billion light years away. And here's a big cluster of them. All of these guys are more than 1 billion light years away. None of them are... This is not a good time of year to see them. Winter is the better time. But yeah, 1614 is here. That's 1 billion light years away. But that's about it. All the others are behind us for now. Yeah, there's a cluster of galaxies that are 1 billion light years away. Some night in winter we will set aside a giga night and we'll go after only galaxies that are 1 billion light years away or farther. We can do that with the dwarf and they will appear as dots, or we can do them with the 11-inch and they will appear as bigger dots. Jeff, my main concern was putting more glass than absolutely necessary. I'm going to take a brief break to go get a cup of tea to check on the dogs, and I'll be back. Don't go away. Yeah, this galaxy looks nice. And that is the supernova. So it's no longer stacking, but we got our supernova. Okay, we're gonna call it. Okay, we're gonna call this a satellite. Wow. A jaggedy satellite. Next thing on my list is C22, if we can find it. It may be too high for the edge of the dome. Let's see. If it is, we'll go to C63. No, we're not. Wow. What's going on in the sky? This is the Blue Snowball Nebula, and I don't think we need to do any stacking here. I did not think we need to. Abel 1995. Yeah, Abel 1995 is out of reach right now. Genie, yes, it is a blue snowball. I'm going to try to see if we can reduce the intensity just a bit. Yeah, this is showing more of its structure. I don't think we can get to C63 with the big scope. Actually, yeah, it is a bit too low for my liking, but I'm gonna try it. Well, I'm glad you have a break. It is touch and go, but we're gonna see if we can get it. I have trees down there. If not, we'll come back to Saturn. The focus on Seestar is incredibly sharp. Nope, 7 sources is not gonna solve. It did. Okay. Okay, the guide scope is facing the wall at this point, so no good here. We will try to stack it with its own guiding, see if that will do it. If you pay careful attention, stay with me for a second. See those 3 stars? They're here. And those hockey stick stars, they're here. So that should give you an idea of the scale difference between Seestar and C11. Yep, there it is. It's way too big for our field of view. Oh well, we tried. That's a good analogy. So when we ask SharpCap to do the auto-guiding, it will play its solve repeatedly and adjust after every few frames. And that's the green flashing light on top. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm done with my list, so I'm open to suggestions for both telescopes. Small targets, big targets. I'm going to hop back here onto Saturn. Before we lose it. Okay, we have Saturn. It is a bit jumpy. We're going to do something unusual here, and that is auto-guide the scope so we can stay on Saturn. We're looking onto one of its moons. Did we lock properly? Yes. Okay. Now we can adjust that. We're going to do what we always do in this case and take a bunch of exposures. M57 will be a very good target, isobig standby. I'm going to take 2000 frames. And if Jacob is not looking, we'll stack 10% of them. If he is looking, we'll only stack 2%. Let's go through the motions of stacking this one. Astrosurface. File open. We're starting to see some clouds there. Okay, this is Saturn. Let's see what it looks like. It's going to look slightly different in this. A lot less jumping. So this is the Saturn that we took. Already. Let me see if M57 is within reach. M57 is, nope, it's past the meridian, sorry. A couple hours ago would have been a possibility. C14. C14 is way too big for C11, but we can send Seestar after it. Right. Now M76 on the other hand is within reach. Here's your double cluster. We're going to stop. Not many Messier objects fit within the confines of the big scope. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us or if you're new to this channel, welcome. Please subscribe. This is the only channel on YouTube that streams live in 4K resolution from multiple telescopes at multiple wavelengths. We do solar, we do optical, we do radio, and we have fun. We're up to 8 seconds, right? Right. It is right here. As soon as we have double-digit stars, it'll solve. Three-eye Atlas, hi Josh, has already set to the west, so we cannot see it. But we're going to see what we have to put people to sleep now. No, I'm going to take this one. Thank you. Follow it. Stay with it. Stack. This is M76, we said. And we're going to turn off the guiding here to avoid a collision between the two. Okay, we're stacking. We'll let it stack, see what it gives us. It's colorful already. Thanks, Bill. Have a good night. Aval 2218 is way to the west. I can reach things from about 0 degree to about 180 degree azimuth, and from about 0 to about 60 degrees altitude. So this one is out also. I don't know why there's so much reddish on the Seestar. This is the little dumbbell. It may be a dust lane. Let me see what Stellarium says. Yeah, we are smack in the middle of the Milky Way. They are showing lots of dust lanes in there. And this explains why I'm seeing all the reddish there. Stellarium is showing it exactly the same way. I show you. There is the big dust lane you're talking about. And this is all the reddishness that we're seeing. Which image, Jeff, are you talking about? M76 or C14? Because C14 is in alt-az mount, M76 is on an equatorial mount. They are not, and I will show you. Pay attention to this, what looks like a baby's hand in the upper cluster. You see it? The Y-shaped funny thing in the upper cluster. It is not in the lower cluster. it is only in the upper cluster. You see it? Now I'll show you that it is in the upper cluster also of the Seestar. There it is. See it? So they are not upside down. And this one is 869, this one is 884. The baby hand, yes. Good night, Gina. Yeah, I'm going to call it a night within the next 15 minutes when we finish these two targets. Yeah, we have been at it since 4 p.m., so that's 6 hours. That's a good day's work. I'm keeping an eye at the window because rumor has it we're going to have an aurora borealis possibly tonight. I don't see anything yet. Must be further north. So folks, do me a favor and spread the word within your astro circles about the channel. It's going to get a lot more exciting once the radio telescope is going. And have them join us, have them subscribe. Good night, Kason. I wonder what the magic wand will do to an image like this. Okay, got rid of the red, but that's about it. Yeah, that's all it did. Okay, I wish you all a good night then, and we will see you next time.